Tonight on KGW News, Raccoon on a rampage.
She'll just launch from that far and come right after you before you have any idea that she's there.
Caught on camera, the people and pets attacked by one especially aggressive animal. Then, they're calling it a miracle.
There is so much gratitude.
An incredible show of support as a deputy shot 7 times while serving an eviction notice gets to go home. And later, Oregon Secretary of State rules Republicans who walked out too many times can't run for re-election. Why, some say they plan to try anyway.
Good evening, everyone, and we begin with a warning, and quite an unusual one at that. Raccoons, essentially a whole family of them, recorded on video attacking people and dogs. It's all happening in a busy part of Northwest Portland near restaurants and homes. Our Catherine Cook talked to one of the victims who has made it her mission to warn others.
I just don't want them in this neighborhood.
Jordan Barbeau is leading a neighborhood watch.
I mean, there are a lot of diseases that they can carry.
Against 5 masked intruders. There they are at the bottom of your screen.
Completely fearless. Didn't care.
She's most concerned with the raccoon ringleader.
She'll just launch from that far and come right after you before you have any idea that she's there.
It's happening outside her home on Northwest 22nd and Johnson. Brace yourself for this latest attack from the night of August 1st. A woman and her dog were out walking when suddenly a raccoon attacks both of them. The attack goes on for 18 seconds.
Not only was her dog bitten, but she was also bitten on the leg, at least in 2 spots. So she had gone to get treated at the ER, and when she went to the ER, they actually told her that she was not the first person that had come in for a raccoon bite just that week.
Last month, Jordan says a raccoon attacked her husband and their 2 dogs. It's a little blurry, but you can see it here.
No warning, no hiss, no growl. It just came right out.
The raccoon really went for Rosa, their husky mix, and sliced open her ear. It also left puncture wounds on their other dog, Bodie's front leg.
It was just digging in on her body, holding on to her. And, you know, if it weren't for her brother Bodie and my husband being there to help, I don't know that she would have been able to get it off of her.
Jordan posted this sign, hoping to warn neighbors. As people stop to look, you can almost read their minds. Really? There goes the neighborhood.
The other day I took a photo and I posted on my Instagram story because at first I was like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. What raccoons? Like, what's going on? But I just read your updated sign around the corner and I was like, oh no.
It seems like we've got an aggressive bunch.
Do we not have animal control?
For aggressive dogs, yes. Just not raccoons. As for the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, a spokesperson tells KGW they offer to loan neighbors raccoon traps and euthanize any they catch. Jordan set out 5 catch and release traps on her own that won't injure the animals.
So far, no luck.
She hopes they leave on their own.
So I've got neighbors that have little kids that, would be at serious risk if they were out playing in the yard.
In the meantime, her neighborhood watch continues.
This is not an area where an animal this aggressive is going to be able to coexist.
Aggressive raccoons, that's all we need. Until the situation is resolved, ODFW suggests people avoid walking their dogs in that area at night. Also, they're asking people to avoid putting things outside that might attract raccoons, like accessible food waste and pet food. David?
At least the neighbors there are looking out for each other.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, at Beaverton, investigators say they are concerned there could be more victims after a physician's assistant was charged with sexually abusing a patient. Authorities say a 19-year-old accused Alvin Ashneal Prasad of performing, quote, inappropriate and unnecessary actions during a medical procedure. Beaverton police are asking anyone with information to come forward. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for details that lead to a suspect who police say tried to light a North Portland home on fire. Police released these photos and say this person tried to light the fire just outside the home multiple times. No word on a potential motive. And 2 major Oregon breweries are being sold. It's part of Anheuser-Busch's offloading of 8 brands, including Widmer Brothers, based in Portland, and 10 Barrel Brewing, based in Bend. A New York-based company called Tilray that specializes in cannabis products is buying both. Tilray CEO says they want to work with the iconic brands and invest in the craft beer industry. An outpouring of support for a local sheriff's deputy shot 7 times in the line of duty as he left the hospital after nearly 2 weeks. Washington County Sheriff's Deputy Chuck Doze got a full send-off with care staff and fellow law enforcement lining the sidewalks. His recovery truly remarkable. His wife calling it a miracle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just all the best.
Thank you very much.
It's truly a miracle. 2 shots to his head, and my gosh, I could be looking at a whole different scenario. And for that, there's big smiles around that bed.
There sure are. Deputy Doze's wife says while recovery will be a long journey, she was left in awe today by all that support. That included an escort up I-5 to the deputy's home. Deputy Doze was shot July 26 when serving an eviction notice at an apartment in Tualatin. New tonight from teaching students about the dangers of fentanyl to expanding access to Narcan. Today, Oregon's governor signed 6 bills into law that have to do with mental health, substance abuse, and beyond. Alma McCarty is here to break it all down. Alma.
Well, David, the governor said each of the bills marks progress, acknowledging in a statement Tuesday that suffering and hope of those who've watched loved ones struggle with untreated mental health issues and addiction.
On Tuesday, Governor Tina Kotek vowed to make meaningful strides, signing 6 bills to address Oregon's behavioral health crisis.
I want Oregonians to know that your state, my office, wants to help.
Among the bills, 2 focus on preventing overdose deaths. The first makes emergency overdose reversal medications like Narcan more readily available in, for example, public buildings, stores, police departments, and schools. The second requires hospitals and other healthcare settings to give patients 2 doses of the overdose reversal meds when they're discharged.
The goal is to help people be healthy and stay alive.
Then there's the bill to fix issues with Measure 110. The state will increase staff and speed up the application process to get more money out the door and connect more people struggling with addiction to treatment and services.
Voters passed Measure 110. How do we make it function better for making sure people have the support they need in the community?
Then there's an education component, a new law to help teach kids the dangers of synthetic opioids.
I am eager to press forward on effective implementation of these bills. It's not enough to pass legislation. It's not enough to have resources allocated. You have to make sure they work.
The new laws didn't exclusively deal with drug addiction and treatment. The governor also signed into law a bill that will provide ongoing funding to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, or 988, in order to improve the statewide system. David?
Yeah, so much need across the state in so many of these areas. Thank you, Alma. Speaking of new laws and lawmakers, Oregon's Secretary of State announced a big decision today, ruling the state senators who walked out this session at least 10 times will not be allowed to run for re-election. Secretary LaVon Griffin-Valade was asked to make a clarifying ruling on Measure 113, which voters passed last year, though as Pat Doris explained tonight on The Story, the secretary will not have the last word.
This covers 10 lawmakers who racked up 10 or more absences. Now, not all of them are up for re-election next year, but 4 of those who are said they definitely do plan to run again. They're not so thrilled as you can expect with Tuesday's ruling, and they plan to challenge Measure 113 in court. Their argument comes down to the exact language of 113. Here's what it says. 10 or more unexcused absences, quote, shall disqualify the member from holding office as a senator or representative for the term following the election after the member's current term is completed. Now, the Republicans who want to challenge the measure say they read that to mean that even though they racked up absences in 2023, they can run in 2024, but would be banned for the next election in 2028. But Secretary of State LaVon Griffin-Valade says courts have emphasized that the text of adopted ballot measures must be interpreted in a way that's consistent with voter intent. And she says voters understood Measure 113 to mean that lawmakers who miss 10 or more days of a session would be banned from holding office during the immediate next term. In her statement Tuesday, she said, my decision honors the voters' intent by enforcing the measure the way it was commonly understood when Oregonians added it to our state constitution. She also argues the ballot title and the voters' pamphlet on Measure 113 reinforce that interpretation. We'll keep following this if it does go to court and keep you updated.
Our thanks to Pat for that. For more in-depth looks into the big issues affecting our community, you can check out The Story. That's every weekday evening at 6:30, only here on KGW.